Wake up. It's the Daily Review with Joe LaRocca. And today we're going to discuss the new Kevin Hart special called Zero Fucks Given. Recently released on Netflix. I wonder if you can tell what has changed between the last shot and this shot. Different headphones. Didn't have the right headphones on. So that's why the intro is a little bit stranger than normal. Okay, Kevin Hart has released a comedy special from his basement. Basement. I think if our basements were like this, we wouldn't call them our basements. We would call them our amazingly awesome room that's at the bottom of our house. So the opening, there's a little opening at the beginning of comedy, stand-up comedy, like a little thing, like them walking down the street or whatever, getting a haircut. This is him, like, look at how good of a dad I am. And he's talking to his kids, and he's like, you do your homework? Yeah, you do this? Oh, give me pop. Yo, ooh, high five. And then he sees his pregnant wife, and he's like, hey, he kisses her. And he's like, all right, I'm just going to go downstairs and work for a second. I'll be back up. And he goes downstairs in a poorly directed shot that would have made it look more obviously like it is his basement. It almost looks like a trick shot, but it really is his basement. So they fucked that part up right off the bat. But he's converted his basement into like a small, like a little nightclub theater with socially distanced people and wearing masks, sitting on couches and stuff, all separated. And so that I was like, that's pretty badass that he did that, and it's a cool idea. And it's way more conducive of an environment for comedy than an arena. I remember one time I watched a special that was at Madison Square Garden, and I was like, dude, this is like, nobody can do this. Like, this is not the right thing. And I know I've listened to Louis do Madison Square Garden. I've listened to, obviously, like Steve Martin do huge arenas, and it's possible. But, you're better off in a theater environment, a smaller theater than like a fucking professional sports arena, So yeah, he starts out and he's like, I had COVID. And the reason we're doing this in my basement is I don't like leaving my house anymore. I'm scared. People stink. I don't like them. I had COVID. I don't want to get anything else. People been mean to me. And he does a bunch of comedy on that. And the kind of statement he makes in the whole first part, or really the whole kind of thesis of it, is that we ruined fame for Kevin Hart because you can't be a piece of shit anymore, and you can't be as dishonest anymore if you're famous because people are filming you. And if you're a piece of shit, you're going to get caught, just like every other person who's been canceled, And so I had no sympathy for him because I don't think he is. I think he's like an entertainer. I don't even consider him a very funny. I don't think he's funny. That's just my opinion. He's not funny. And then we overdosed on him. He was in like every fucking movie, and then we were just like, ugh. I just think he's like really obnoxious. He never made me laugh. Anyway, we're like generation snitches, and that social media, like, and so the first example he gives is, I was eating a Big Mac and a woman was filming me, said, I got you. And so you're like, oh yeah, that does stink that you can't just like eat a Big Mac because that scene is like, but no, it's because 2 days earlier he had pledged to this like plant-based group that he was going 100% plant-based, or he just announced that on Twitter, I'm all plant-based, and then 2 days later he got caught in a lie. It's like, oh, sorry Kevin for fucking keeping you honest. What a bunch of shitheads. And I know that a regular person doesn't deal with that, but a regular person doesn't get $1 billion a year for just screaming and can't have a fucking nightclub in their basement, Then I didn't know how big of a piece of shit Kevin Hart was. This was almost an expose. I didn't know that he had a sex tape come out, like from when he was married, like while he was married. Like that's called adultery, I believe. He had a sex tape, and he got like he had in trouble for all these homophobic tweets and stuff. And it's like, oh, maybe if you're funnier, I could forgive some of this stuff, like with Louis. Like Louis came out after controversy, and his special was like about that. Like he mined the comedy from that. He seemed, I'm not being a Louis apologist by any means. What Louis did is not good by any means. But it also isn't a sex tape. So I don't know. So let's talk about the comedy a little bit. But already that like left a bad taste in my mouth, because I was like, no, it's different if you talk about how you can't go anywhere because people recognize you and they hound you, and everything is made uncomfortable. But he doesn't focus on that. He focuses on them just revealing the shitty parts of his character that, yes, I'm sure we all have. I'm if you put a microscope to my life, you don't even need a microscope. You can find me to be a pretty large asshole. In fact, I'm documenting it every day. But he goes, I hate what you guys made me. He says that, and I was like, honest? We made you honest? What are you fucking talking about? So his comedic style is to get like angry. He's like, I'm a little angry guy. And that works sometimes, sort of, and but not for me. But for some people, they like that. But he does the thing where he repeats himself a lot, like Chris Rock. But wait, the way Chris Rock does it is genius. What Chris Rock is doing, and it's like in that HBO special, Talking Funny, they talk about it. He repeats himself because the ideas he's saying are so rich that he has to say it several times so that people understand it. So he really is repeating the premise, not the punchline. What Kevin Hart does is repeat the punchline over and over again, saying it different ways until he gets a laugh. In fact, there are times where he says the punchline and he gets no laugh, and then he just keeps saying it. And it's like, oh, he's just getting angry about it. It's kind of funny that he's getting angry. He does generally have good timing, and he can be insightful, but he doesn't seem particularly like smart. Like he's not particularly thorough in his analysis when he does come up with something that may be insightful. He doesn't go particularly deep. So he just makes a few little, so it makes you go, oh, I don't think he even realizes that that's an interesting topic that he should do like 10 minutes on instead of like one little joke, It doesn't feel heavily curated. And I'm sure lots of comedy specials coming out right now are not going to feel very curated because people are out of practice, as they say. So it's, yeah, and then I just found like a lot of the stories to be unrelatable. Because, we're all pretty much decent people who aren't filthy rich, and we're not like broadcasting from our palatial estate. That kind of exacerbates everything. You go, I can't really. So you had a car accident, and I don't know the details of that. I mean, that sucks to have a car accident, but people have car accidents all the time. And I was like reading Twitter things, YouTube things about when I put the trailer up. People were like, guys, he was in a car accident last year, so like, thank God he's still with us. And that, it's like, dude, that's not an excuse for the fucking thing not being good. Like, yeah, I don't want him to die, but we don't even know the details of that accident. Who knows? Maybe it was his fault. We don't know. Maybe we do know. I don't know. I'm saying I shouldn't say that. That's in poor taste. There's one part where it's actually something that he's good at is being fast, and there's this joke where he's talking, it's not very interesting, but it's about how men text. It's one of those sexist things, oh, we text like this and women text like this. He's doing that, and they bring a fucking graphic up on the screen to show the conversation, because I guess they don't think that the audience is going to be able to keep up and understand when he's changing voices, and it completely ruins the joke, because you end up looking at the graphic of like what it would look like on a cell phone screen. But the funny part is that he's doing like 3 or 4 people. It's like they completely didn't understand what was funny about the joke. And they're like, oh, they're not going to understand who's talking and they're going to miss it. No, it's very understandable. Then he does a whole joke about putting your dick in the popcorn. and having a girl touch it, which is like, I think that's a joke from like the 40s. But he says that it's called a butter beat off, and none of that was funny. But he asked his wife about it, and his wife goes, "Are they still doing that?" That was the only time in the entire thing I laughed, and I wondered if maybe if that story is true, which it probably isn't, and his wife said that, then his wife actually said the funniest thing in the special. But I'm sure he obviously wrote that joke. But then he talks about after his car accident, how a male nurse had to wipe his ass, and that was the lowest point of his life. And I was like, what? That's the lowest point of your life? I don't know, man. For somebody who spent time in the hospital, it's like, no, it's the lowest point of the other guy's life who has to wipe your ass, not you having your ass wiped. You fucking selfish cock. Anyway, then he does a story about this is kind of the climactic bit, and this is when I was like, wow, I really don't like this. So going through it, I wasn't as angry about it as I seem now. I was just like, oh, this, yeah. I was smiled at a few things, and he's like charismatic, and I was laughing at it and stuff. And then it comes to this story, and I was like, I got so mad because this story you wouldn't even save this story for like a Conan, for a late night show. But he goes to a Seinfeld dinner party it's basically a racist joke, but it's all white peas, the only black guy there, and he does an impression of Jerry Seinfeld that I would not know was Jerry Seinfeld if he hadn't said it. Like, I can do a better impression of Jerry Seinfeld. What's the deal with airplane peanuts? They're not peanuts and they're not airplanes. But, I don't know. Like, that is more cartoonish, but understand. He's like, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. It's like more of a joke that it doesn't sound. He should have been like, hey, motherfucker, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. Like, he should have done a joke about how he can't do the impression. But his ego won't let him do that. It's the worst impression of Jerry Seinfeld I've seen committed to a comedy special, for sure. Anyway, they bring out BOP, B-O-P, Brick Oven Pizza. And everybody's like, yay, Brick Oven Pizza. And he's jealous that Jerry has this thing that people know that Jerry provides very good brick oven pizza. And Kevin wants to be known for something outside of his fame. He says that. What a fucking stupid thing to say. It doesn't even make sense. I want to be known for I think he meant to say, I want to be known for something outside of my jokes. Like, not, but he says fame. I rewound it twice to make sure, because that's the dumbest fucking statement ever. I want to be known for something outside of my fame. He's like a hobby or boxing. Like, so we're supposed to be like, oh, Kevin Smith, he's a, international millionaire stand-up comedian who can make a sex tape and it doesn't fucking matter, and say homophobic shit online. And apparently we only half canceled him, because I wasn't even aware that he had been canceled. And he wants to be, but he also does boxing. You're 4'2", you little fucking fruit. You can't fucking box. And then he tells a story about getting punched once and quitting boxing. It's like, he doesn't know how to tell a story comedically. He just looks like a little, I'm losing it. I said I wasn't going to lose it. Anyway, this is like shows how insecure the guy is. He buys his own brick oven pizza and has a party. And except the difference is he has all black people over, and they don't understand brick oven pizza, because black people don't understand brick oven pizza the way white people do. And they think BOP is big old pussy, not brick oven pizza. You're fighting the wrong way, Kevin. Anyway, like, it's like the story could have been, like, if Chappelle had told the story, it would have been 25 minutes and it would have been fucking genius. The way I almost said Kevin Smith, they're equal. Kevin Smith is better at talking to groups of people than Kevin Hart is. Can tell a story better too. Even Seinfeld could have told the joke better, but the way he tells it, he just sounds like he basically tells a story that's like about him being like so insecure that he has to copy somebody, and unoriginal, that he can't even come up with his own thing, and that people don't really understand they're not nearly as appreciative of it. What? Well, what the fuck? Why don't people like it as much as they liked it at Seinfeld's? Well, maybe it's because Seinfeld's fucking funny. I mean, he hasn't written a joke in 20 years and he's funnier than you are. All right. Kevin Hart, 0 fucks given. No shit. I also feel the same way. And it annoys me that Louis can't get his thing on Netflix and this guy can. You know? It's probably like, oh, Netflix be like, oh, if we don't let his on, that'd be racist. You know? I don't know. If we're judging people not on the content of the character, but the quality of their entertainment, then what the fuck? We canceled some of the wrong people. And that's what you're saying by Netflix like airing this, in my opinion. Is you're saying, oh, we'll forgive him. But no, some people we're not going to forgive. But we're going to forgive him because, you know, he's so popular, so it's okay. And Louis was kind of, you know, I don't know. It's not, he's white and older and not attractive. So, all right. We're going to get so many thumbs down on this video. It's going to be fucking dope. But if you do really like the Kevin Hart special and you're upset at what I'm saying, don't just give me a thumbs down. Go ahead, give me a thumbs down. But also write why I'm an asshole and why I'm wrong. Because I genuinely would like to understand the popularity of Kevin Hart. Because I don't see it. Give me Chappelle. Give me Louis. Give me Chris Rock. Give me Nate Bargatze. Give me like even the kind of blander guys who but are still super funny, like Gaffigan and what's his name there? Whatever. If I offended you, I do sort of apologize. I mean, I don't mean to offend you, but the special wasn't good. And I know when I review stand-up, I, for some reason, get tons of views. So, let me know what you think. Sorry that I got mad. Daddy still loves you.